Hello, hello, this is Saraneth, and we are playing Creativerse Gone Wired, and we are enjoying a lovely view up here, and a pixie who has decided to join me and stand on my number pad. Whoop. Let's head down, I think. Where I have set up a prototype, actually two prototypes, of a single shaft, two-way, multi-level elevator. It's a little imperfect, but it does work, and I hope we can take this design and help to improve upon it in the future. Let's go up to level 2, and I am using kind of the some of the North American, the Japanese, and the Russian designation of the floor down there being 1 and this being 2. And let's go up to 3. And of course we can drop down to 2, down to 1, and go all the way up to 3. And as you probably saw from over there, coming all the way down from the top as well. So this design uses quite a few elements. As you can see in my first little prototype, it's very condensed, mostly because I wanted to see how tight of a room I could make it just with all the basic necessary elements, which include trapdoors on the ceilings or in between floors, fans at the bottom of floors, and of course the number pad, and also pressure plates, which are very similarly used here as in my safety catch design. So along this side, all of these gates over here actually connect just to the trap door. What I have are two comparators. Since this is for the trap door at the base of level 2, this checks for the number 2. This top one, if I can target it, looks for less than 2, and this bottom one looks for greater than or equal to. So both of these comparators actually capture all the numbers. 1 or 0 would be captured by less than 2, 2, 3, 4, and any other higher number would be captured by this one. So after I have the logic gate catching which one, so for example, let's go to level 2. That would be greater than or equals would output true. But before it goes straight to the trapdoor to open it, it actually goes to an AND gate. Now this lower AND gate that's connected to greater than or equals to is actually connected to this pressure plate. So it's actually looking for my body. This is how the elevator determines where I am in the shaft. Whichever press plate is being activated, the AND gate will be primed to receive information. So this one goes to this AND gate, getting a true signal from this comparator. The AND gate then sends a true signal to this OR, and this OR is just to capture both signals from both AND gates, and then it opens the trap door, as long as I press this plate. Once that plate down there is no longer pressed, the trapdoor closes, closing behind me and locking me on level 2 until I'm ready to go down. Now let's say I'm on level 2 and I want to drop down to 1. So that would be this one. Let me go ahead and change my number pad. So now our comparator for less than 2 has been activated, or has activated a true signal. It's sent it to a different AND gate. This AND gate actually looks for the pressure plate on level 2. So basically, my presence here, telling the elevator I want to go to 1, it sees that I'm here and then sends a true signal to the OR gate, to the trapdoor, and then drops me. Once I'm no longer pressing that plate, the trapdoor closes. ready for the next action. Same thing with the level 3 up there, only instead of greater than or equal to 2, the bottom one is greater than or equal to 3. Instead of the top one being less than 2, the top one is less than 3, and works a similar way, with each pressure plate testing where I am in the elevator shaft. That's for the trapdoors, but we also need to activate the fans. As you can see, I only have 2 sets of machines for the fans, or 2 segments. I have what you might expect. A comparison gate that reads greater than 1. So that's for this bottom one. So right now we had 1 in there, but if we change it to 2, 2 is greater than 1, so the fan comes on. But if you look at this wire, it's not going straight to the fan, it's going to this comparator, a second comparator, and it's the second comparator that goes to the fan. So what is the second comparator also checking for? It's checking for the pressure plate on the level above it. As long as that pressure plate is not being pressed, this fan will blast. So if the pressure plate is not being activated, it must output false. But this comparator outputs true. So when input 1 needs to be true and input 2 needs to be false for the only true output, that is greater than as an event. Now why would I want to set it that way? Why not just leave it on? Why does the pressure plate need to matter? When we go up to 2, you'll see a little bob. And then I stop. The fan's still on. And then the fan's off. But see, if the fan's still on while I'm waiting here in 2, it's giving me a headache. So the pressure plate is turning that fan off so I can rest safely on level at 2. This is because currently in Creativerse, the fans will work through doors, even closed ones. Same thing up here for this level. These 2 connect to the fan on level 2. This comparator checks for the pressure plate up there, and as soon as I move from level 2 to level 3, the fan down on level 2 will stop blasting so that I can land nice and still and safe on level 3. One drawback of this particular design is that you can't just shoot straight up from 1 to 3 or 1 to whatever your high floor is. You will be stopping at each and every level. But it does work. This prototype is a little bit higher. This one has 5 blocks in between each level. Mainly if I just wanted to check the kind of logistics of working with it, and I have found this one to be a little more difficult. Fair warning, dizziness ahead. There it goes. It will get me up, but I almost always kind of catch on one of those lower levels. While I'm here, let me go ahead and talk about this bug. Right now, this pressure plate is set lower. You may have noticed my other pressure plates. Let me drop down the floor. My goodness, Pigsy. Because the fan occupies this space, the pressure plate has to be at eye level. There's a current bug at the moment that when pressure plates, or when players rather, cross chunk borders, so the 2 numbers I I just created there are a little bit different. -1273, -114, -1344, 122. That's actually two separate chunks in between these spaces. And if I take a pressure plate and put it at eye level when I am standing on one chunk but it's on another, this top one doesn't activate. So that may be something you keep in mind. There's also currently bugs with reloading, and sometimes the machines kind of go out of sync. So don't be discouraged if you create a machine that works and it works perfectly fine, and upon login it breaks or stops working. It may end up working fine again at yet another login. Drops me down, activates the pressure plate, and then sends me up. So again, like I said, this is just kind of testing the prototypes. This is 5, and it may work a little bit better with 4 or with multiple fans running through. This is the same setup, where I have 2 comparators on one side that activate the fans. And these are the machines that activate the trapdoors. It looks like a lot, but it's the same amount for each floor. Since I don't have trapdoors at the bottom of level 1, these start testing at level 2. So this one's in between level 1 and level 2. Greater than or equal to 2. The AND gate that checks for the pressure plate at the bottom. Less than 2. The AND gate that checks for the pressure plate at the top, and the OR gate that collects both AND gates and opens the trap door. So this is for level 2, level 3, level 4, and level 5. And that is my single shaft, two-way, multi-level elevator. I think I'll just call it an elevator for short.